I just finished building the Disney castle, but if you want to see my full review on it, go check out my other video. But today, what we are doing is looking at all of the references that are made in the Disney castle. So let's get into it. Well, first off, we have the minifigures, and obviously Flynn Rider has to have his satchel on the side, and then everyone else looks really good, but I don't know if I would call those references. Those are just the minifigures. Sorry if you see my iPad right here. Had to pull out my notes because there's just so many. Starting off, there is a mural for every single princess that is in this set. So there's 4 princesses. So that means there's 4 murals. So we've got Rapunzel over here on the right. And then in her mural, we have obviously Rapunzel. And then you can see she has her paintbrush as well. And I also like the fact that all of the murals are minifig versions. And then we have the chameleon as well. Yeah, so we have Pascal the chameleon as well. And then we have the flower that gives her powers as well. And then you can see there is also her castle in the background. Obviously, that's the castle she lets down her hair. And then there's tons of different flowers and stuff. And then I believe there's meant to be some magic, probably for some floating lights as well. And then there's a Kingdom of Corona symbol. So that's what's at the top right there. That's the kingdom that she lives in, where her parents lost her. Or I wouldn't say lost, more like kidnapped away from her parents. And then on the 3rd floor, we have a painting of Rapunzel and the floating lights, the lanterns that are floating into the sky. And then on the side as well is located a palette and a paintbrush as well. So that's definitely for Rapunzel. And it looks really good. It looks good, just like the movie as well. You know, she loves to paint, and then you could look out into it's like you're looking out a window. Next up, we're going to go to the next mural. We have Snow White. So at the top of hers, she has the apple, obviously, and then you have her. She's like, her outfit is kind of golden as well, and then she loves animals as well. So she has a couple animals. We've got some bunnies, we have a squirrel, we have a bird that she's holding, and then she has the well as well, where she meets Prince Florian. And then there is some great printing as well, and on the side of her arms, they're dual molded and printed as well, so that looks really good. And then let me see, I think there is also another reference at the top here where there's an apple coming out. It's kind of like trapped behind you. When I was building the set, you just slid it in there instead of placing it. Thought it was kind of fun doing that. You can also see the cottage all the way in the background. So this actually came out before the set of Snow White's cottage, which I actually now have behind me. So that's pretty cool. I now have 2 Snow White minifigures. I thought they might have been different, but I think they're the exact same. So another Snow White reference that we have as well is on one of the top floors of this long skinny castle part is a mirror from like the movie, the mirror on the wall. And yeah, so that's a room dedicated just to that. Oh, just to that. Wow, voice crack. And next up, we have Cinderella. So on the top of hers, we have a glass slipper, because that's her iconic thing, is the glass slipper. And then we have a carriage as well at the front, and then you can see her castle in the back. And then she's wearing her dress, and then she's got her blonde hair that they made gold in this. So there's actually a physical glass slipper at the top, and then you can remove it if you want, so you can have Prince Charming giving it to Cinderella. But you can have a display piece as well. It's right above the mirror that I just told you about for Snow White. And then another detail as well is we have a clock at the front that is about to strike midnight, so it's a reference to the other mural stuff as well. And then we have Tiana on the left, her mural as well, so she's wearing her tiara, and then there's a symbol up top. I'm not sure what that is for. Forgive me for that. And then there's the vines coming down, just like how she was all around in the movie. And you can see the willows as well. I think that's what those are called. And there's a flower, and then she's holding a frog. And I really like that it's a Lego frog as well. And then there's some clouds and some magic, I think, going on in the background. And then she's on a bridge as well. And there's another reference to Tiana here at the front, where I think this is actually meant to be Tiana, and then there was another CMF series where she was in it, and then there's another slightly different colored frog that was meant to be for Prince Naveen. All right, so in the middle, there is a ballroom where you can spin the wheel at the bottom, and then it spins around, and then you can act like they're dancing. And then there's a chandelier as well that looks really good, and then there's tons of candles just all over. Let's go to the left side here. We have the sword from Sword in the Stone. There's no minifigures for that. You can pull out the sword if you want. There's a whole room dedicated to that. And then up top, we have a pumpkin. I'm not sure what that is specifically referencing. Probably, if I were to guess, something Cinderella related with the pumpkin carriage. And then after that, we have a reference to Mulan. There's the dragon and then her sword as well. And then under that, we have a reference to the Little Mermaid, which is the Dingle Hopper. And then getting all the way over to the right side, but still staying inside, we have a reference to Fantasia. So it's the well, and then you have the cleaning tools as well for Mickey. So getting over to the outside, just right next to the Fantasia part, we have an area that is meant to, I think, reference Pocahontas with the floating leaves. They're different colors, and yeah, you can tell that they're floating around the tree over here. I thought that was really cool. I didn't really know what it was when I was building it. I had to look it up after, but yeah, that's cool. So getting to the second floor, we have a couple references here. There is a dining room, which is meant to reference Beauty and the Beast. Unfortunately, there's no Belle minifigure in this one. Belle got her own castle with her own minifigures as well. So yeah, the dining room is dedicated to her, and then we have the teapot as well, and the candle. Forgive me, I forget some of the names, but yeah, and there's a lamp up top. I would assume not a lamp, it's probably some type of light that's natural, because there's not really technology in pretty much all of these princess stories. But yeah, I think the dining room looks pretty good. Unfortunately, no seats. I like the way that they did the legs for the chair, and then this is where Beast and Belle have that dinner or supper, whatever you want to call it. And then getting over to the side, we have a kitchen. And then we have a frying pan, which I think references the Tangled. Obviously, it's meant for cooking, but Tangled, where Rapunzel picked up the frying pan and then smacks Flynn Rider in the face. And then there's another little bin for washing dishes. And then there's clearly a reference to the teapot as well. And then the little cup as well, which is the son of the teapot. And I don't know why I'm blanking on a lot of these names. And then there's just other dishware as well. And then getting up a floor above that, we got to Rapunzel's room already. Unfortunately, there is nothing to the left. I feel like they could have definitely slipped in a reference or two, even with the limited space that they had. But we'll ignore that. Go to the next one. We have Maui. This is a reference to Moana, obviously. So we've got a picture of Maui, and then we have an oar next to him as well. And you can see him. Nothing for Moana, but we can see every animal above him. It's an animal, or animals that he can transform into. Continuing with the Beauty and the Beast references, we have the Enchanted Rose that is in the dome. Thought that was nice as well. And then the library that's there as well is meant to be the library that we see in Beauty and the Beast as well. And then there's a ladder for it, but ignoring the elephant in the room, there's obviously some Aladdin. So we've got the obvious genie, and then that looks good with coming out of the genie. It kind of looks like a teapot, but it's like a genie pot. I don't know what to call it. It's a genie. And then we have the magic carpet, and then I do have Aladdin minifigures. I actually do have Jasmine, I believe that's her name, and then I don't have the guy. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to get a lot of minifigures, I've realized, to really fill this set out. Okay, so getting into the Sleeping Beauty section, the bed is meant for Sleeping Beauty, and I like that they made the bed kind of pulled off to the side. It's not a fully made bed, which is kind of nice, which there is an Aurora minifigure. Unfortunately, I don't have the Aurora minifigure, so as I just said, I'm gonna need to get a bunch of minifigures for these Disney 100 sets, even though there's just even more than Disney 100, just Disney in general. So yeah, we've got the Aurora's bed, and there's a little bit room on the side, barely, if you want to put a minifigure. And then another reference to Sleeping Beauty, we have Maleficent's area where she gets lured in, and then it actually spins around, and then you have the wheel as well. And yeah, that looks pretty good. I don't know if I built mine wrong, but mine doesn't spin that great. But yeah, I think I'm gonna keep it as the green because the clear green colors look really cool. All right, so there's a Disney section as well. You can't have a Disney 100 castle without making some Disney 100 stuff. So if you open up this part of the castle, you can see that there's a classic video camera, and then we have a wand that is meant for Tinkerbell, and then we have an original printing of Mickey. It looks like one of the original kind of Steamboat Willie type of drawings where the animations were super simple, just a bunch of drawings strung together. And getting into the front-ish part of the castle, there's a tiara or crown, whatever you want to call it. It doesn't really specify what it's for, but you can say it's probably for, I don't know, any princess you want. I think it's just meant to symbolize how they're all princesses, and It's all royalty, so I like it. There's a lot of gold, a lot of blue, and I really like this set a lot. I had a blast building it. It's the second biggest set that I've ever built, aside from the Avengers Tower. But this is 10 times better than the Avengers Tower, in my opinion. Just the whole build process. And I actually had a funny situation where my instructions weren't printed correctly. So I got to step like 477, and then I tried to go to the next step, and I'm like, wait a second, I don't have these pieces, because I thought it was like starting over or something. But in fact, actually what happened was they misprinted my instructions, and I missed out on like 20 of them. So I had to, it's pretty simple. You can just go and look up the instructions online, but I was really confused for a while. And yeah, getting into the stuff at the front, the doors open, obviously, the clock strikes midnight, and it wouldn't be a Disney castle without fireworks. I can't imagine you make a Disney castle without fireworks. I think the fireworks really complete the build and they make it look so good, because the Disney castle looks amazing when you have the fireworks with it. It just really encapsulates Disney. And there's so many gold pieces, as you can tell as well. There's the Disney logo. I don't know if it's the Disney logo or what logo it is, but there's logo for the flag, and then you had to put stickers on for that one. And then over here as well at the front, it's a printed piece. So yeah, I think that encompasses every single reference that they made in this set. I can't get over how good of a time I had building this set. And unfortunately, it is retired. It did retail for $400 and retired at the end of 2025, but I guess you could pick it up on the aftermarket if you want. I've had this set sitting for like a year or two, and I finally got to build it. But now the problem is, where do I put it? I'm thinking about putting it on my top shelf, but I'm going to have to move a lot of stuff around. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of this build. And I do also like that they had the forced perspective with this, which I know Disney's known for, because there's like a gap in between here. So that's pretty cool, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, I kind of wish it did come with a little bit more minifigures. I understand there's 8. They're great minifigures, but for a set that's $400, I feel like you're going to think you're going to get more than 8 minifigures. They could have easily done like 12 or even 16 minifigures. It could have been cool. But yeah, anyway, make sure to like and subscribe if you want more LEGO reviews like this, and I'll see you guys in the next one.